But we've already done our declarative. We've added the component here to this. And in this scenario, we have two developers working on story 24 and 25, right? So 10,024 and 10,025. And they were checked out at the same time from the release branch. So when they look at the release branch, they're just going to see their changes, but they aren't really aware of each other's changes. And so on 24, go over to VS Code, switch over to here to 24. You'll see there was a button added, a lightning button was added to it, but notice it wasn't pushed to the org. It was only done here. And then on this one, on 25, that is not there. So we can see that real quickly. It's not there currently. And story 10,024 hasn't been, there hasn't been a pull request or merged into it yet. So we're going to do that, kind of show kind of the scenario that we can kind of work around and what's happening. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a change on 1025. I'm going to go ahead and try to cause a merge conflict. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put something in here instead. Instead of a table, let's go ahead and just put a div. Let's just put a, there we go. Let's just put a button wrapper there. Okay, and let's put another one in. All right, so I've saved it. We're going to go ahead and we're going to push this in. This is just a UI change. We're not going to do any of the back end stuff. We're just going to make this programmatic change. I'm going to take this. Now you can see our change there. All right, we're going to go ahead and deploy this to the org. So now it is going to be in the org. We'll be able to see those changes. All right, now that it's in the org, let's go check the org to make sure it's there. Go in there. Now, just in case, sometimes Salesforce, kind of remembers a lot of the stuff that it's done. So I'm going to go ahead and click Inspect. That's going to allow me to hard refresh. So I'm going to hold down empty cache and hard reload. And then I just close out of this, and that gives me that clean start. Now you'll see that I've added the save button. I've added a clear button. We've got those added in there. It doesn't look great, but they're there. So we have them there. Now that these changes are here, I'm going to play the scenario that the developer number one that was working on 1024 has gone through and they've done some of their stuff. So let's look at 1025. I'm going to commit these. I'm going to type in. All right, notice it's my habit to not stage them, sorry. All right, I'm going to tab and I'm going to sync those changes. So I'm going to push those changes up. This developer on 1024, we're going to make their pull request real quick. You notice they added a button. We're going to create a pull request. Kind of breeze through this real quick. Merge pull request, we're going to merge that one in. Delete that branch there. So 10024 is now in release 1. So if I go to release 01, it's no different than what was in the other one. So this is now up to date with those changes in release 1.0. So if I go over to VS Code, okay, I don't have that button. I don't have that refresh button that is now in release 1.0. So the developer one has already done that change. I need to, before I make a pull request, I need to pull down. In order to do that, I'm going to do a git merge origin, and I'm going to pull down that release branch. All right, when I do that, I should get, and there it is, you will notice that there is a problem. We do have a difference between what is in the release and what is in what is in my branch. And so they're like, hey, there's a problem here. What do you want us to do? And what needs to happen is both of these things need to exist. But how do they need to exist? And so me as a developer, I need to make sure that I know what needs to go in. If I wanted to just keep these current changes, I can click accept current change and it would remove this header, move that part, and then remove that those bottom arrows. And so that's kind of how that would work. We can accept incoming, accept both changes. I can do a compare and I can look at that. I could also open and merge editor. I prefer this because I want to see what the code's going to look like in the end. So what I actually need to do is I've got the button wrapper there. I've got this. I need this wrapper there and then this underneath. And let's say that, the CSS class is all worked out, so it actually looked decent. But this is what it needs to be. So I'm actually going to accept both changes. So I've been aware of what other people have done in the release branch, and I've brought them into mine. I'm going to accept both changes. And then just to make sure, I'm going to go ahead and save this. All right. Now that I've saved this, I actually need to commit this. And so I've got those. Let's go ahead and stage those. Now that I have it, I'm going to commit those changes. And so I commit those changes. I'm going to sync all that information up. And had I not done that, there'd be an error, and the merge would actually show when I create a pull request. And so it'll catch you either way if you've got a merge conflict. And so here, this merge conflict, we've resolved it. Now we're up to date with what's in release. I've taken care of it here, and I'm actually going to push this to the org because I want to see what it looks like there too. Now, to those who are, you know, UI savvy, oh, look, okay, that was an example. I hit refresh and it's not there. So if I go inspect, I get the hard reload, empty cache, hard reload, close that out. There we go. It looks disgusting. Um, but they're there, right? So we've got the change there. It's stuck. I've successfully, merged my work with what they did, and they pushed it up to the release. And so we went through that proper channel. Instead of me merging it across, I merged from the release branch since they've got their pull request approved. And now I can create a pull request, a clean pull request without having any concern. Create that pull request. From here, I'm going to go to release 1.0. Just for the sake, I'm going to act like I pulled that in, but you will notice there's that commit. There's that commit there where we did that merge of the two items. And so we have that. We have that tracked. Here it's just adding it in and just look like it's just putting in my changes. But in that moment, I was not aware that there were changes above me. And by pulling it down with the git merge, I'm able to see them. All right, create the pull request. All right, so now I have two branches left. We have our release and we have our main. The other features, those are all closed out. They are done. They have been merged. We have successful pull requests taken care of.